Hey guys, actually I decided to open source my brain, so you can clone it if you want. So this would be very interesting thing for me. So before maybe this one is very confusing and these kind of things, but let me tell you from the beginning of the story why, and after that you will understand why I say that I'm open sourcing my brain. So around 2 years ago, I watched a YouTube uh, video that it mentioned that learn how to learn. So this video it changed my perspective a lot. So I started to dig further because the video was very interesting, and I studied a few courses and read a few books. And one of the books that I loved a lot it was named "How to Build a Second Brain." So after reading these books and these courses, I tried a few techniques mentioned in these courses. One of the techniques that it mentioned in these courses and it really changed my life was mind mapping. Okay, so I started to do mind mappings, and I shared my very first mind map. Now I'm looking at it, I was such an amateur. But you can watch it if you want. You can go and have a look at it. So I started to do mind mapping, and I find it very useful. And after a while, I combine it with other techniques. Some of the techniques, for example, retrieval method. For example, retrieval is like, for example, after you learn something, you go back to it, and this kind of things. And visualization, adding a lot of meaningful pictures. In the books they mention that okay, you use funny pictures. It didn't work. Okay, so you have to put a meaningful picture. It makes you much easier to remember, and so on and so forth. So I started to do this, and I keep growing. I start doing it more and more and more, and I started to compiling more and more mind maps and become more efficient at it. After a while, I become in charge of training, and I find out, wow, keeping all these mind maps, it is very useful because previously when I was wanted to share something with somebody, it take a lot of energy. Okay, but now that I was a trainer, I could do it easily because why? Because I had the mind map, I just bring it and I can share the knowledge easily with other people. So I still continued and continued. However, meanwhile, my mind maps all was official. It was in my computer, and for example, after sometimes, for example, if anybody want to know something, I want to share something, I just bring my computer or even my phone, so I could show my mind maps to them. After a while, I continue this kind of thing, and I started one thing that it changed again. It was during the coding sessions. So I started to learn that, come on, why I'm not applying this one to my codings? Because for example, in coding, in writing programs, what it happens is that, for example, you have a bug, and after that, for example, you solve it. After sometimes you forget how I solve it, and especially because we become more senior, we age, we tend to forget things. So I started to compile the bugs, everything that it is not, for example, in the internet you cannot find anything that I keep, and keeping links. So for example, the link to, for example, this document, this guideline, everything, I started to document everything. So last year I tried to start an entrepreneurial journey. So I'm doing very horrible. So now I'm literally coding for food. But after a while, I decided to start to do freelancing. So when I started to do freelancing, another perspective change happened for me. This time, when you do freelancing is not like, for example, finding a real job. Right? Finding a real job, you go there, you convince somebody to pay you. After that, he pay you. So at the moment that you become hired, the thing is over. But in freelancing, it's not like that. Every new employer, you have to find employers very often. And every time you find a new employer, you have to establish that I really know this skill, I really know that skill. So it become very troublesome, and it is not enough that you tell in your resume that okay, I'm a superman. This is not enough. You have to prove it. So this is the moment that the light bulb it happened to me again. So what if all this mind map that I have, I make it public and I share it with the employers? Okay, it means that previously everything was in my computer. Now I'm making it public and I share it with the employer, and I started doing that. Okay, so after a while, I was seeing that okay, I have published up to 16 of them. Okay, this is all technicals. But however, I have other mind maps also. They are not all technical. Some of them they are about business, some of them about personal growth. I have mind maps about everything. Okay, even my personal life, even my love life, I have mind map. So it become a habit of mine. So I said that, oh, so now that I can do this, why not to publish everything? It means that I open source the entire thing. Okay, and this was again an interesting moment for me because I can tell you like this: if I open source everything, you can literally clone me, because anything that it come to my mind, anything that it is interesting, anything that it has a contrast compared to the real world, or something that it need your attention, it is in these mind maps. And some of the things that for example, some of the things that ChatGPT fail. For example, I'm not sure you guys use ChatGPT or not, but if you use a ChatGPT, sometimes, for example, if you have, for example, some issue, he cannot solve it for you. Okay, so this is the things that nobody documented. All those bugs that I fixed, that it ChatGPT fail, or for example Google fail or something like that, it is in these mind maps. So this is very interesting to publish it over internet, because I'm not sure you know or not, but for example, all these ChatGPT, they read the data in the internet, and all the mind maps that I do can be converted to text. So what will happen is that, for example, if they have a web crawler, they can read my text. And in other words, by open sourcing my brain, my entire brain, it means that all the knowledge that I earned within the last few years, okay, what I'm doing is literally I'm giving my brain for free to the ChatGPT and all these things and the entire world. And it would be very interesting to see whether they can pick it up. So next time, for example, one of these bugs that I solved, that for example it was not documented in the internet, can they solve it or not? Or for example, even you can clone me, or my process thoughts, my process of thinking, can you clone it? For example, how I look at different problems and this kind of thing. So it is a very interesting moment for me, and everything is public. Everything I learn is public. Every bug I solve is public. Everything. Okay, so every book I read is public. um so I haven't uploaded the entire thing, so I have hundreds of my maps now. I have uploaded about 20 of them. You can check my you can check my profile for my mister down there. So I have an affiliation. Later I'm thinking to add an affiliation also, because they have a paid plan or something like that. It would be nice if you guys do that, so it helped me to make these videos as well. But overall, what you can do is that you can go down there and check all my mind maps about the coding. Especially, I have a lot about front end, back end, DevOps. After that, I have about business, everything. Okay, so and you can see, look into everything. So please let me know if you find this video interesting. Please let me know, and please comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you.